welcome to the Milk and Cookies podcast. This is the super amazing podcast that has absolutely everything to do with American football and nothing to do with milk and cookies. My name is Alex. I'm joined today with Leon, Frankie, and Anthony. We are all back. I don't even remember the last time we were all back. Week 2 preseason just wrapped up, yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday, last night.
So we're going to break this down. We're going to go over our booms. We're going to go over our busts, and we're going to address another situational controversy quarterback that we addressed last week. We're going to go more in depth than that today. So starting off with the booms of the week. Leon, who was your boom of the week?
Boom of the week, Jameis Winston.
Boom. He had one good game.
Hey, let's hear him out.
Marquez Callaway, boom. Jameis Winston, boom.
All right.
Amari Rodgers, boom. I mean, it was some good players who did a good job this week.
All right, I want to know more about Jameis. I know Jameis was 9 for 10 for a good chunk of yards, but
Jameis, the difference I seen in Jameis was like he uses those three. He counts the three in his head now. He doesn't wait. He doesn't play in the pocket. He has to get the ball out. And Sean Payton puts him in a great a scheme to get the ball out and not make mistakes. Separate people, make it a one-on-one situation all the time. And Jameis, he's going to put it there. So.
All right. I think it's that LASIK eye surgery that really helped him out finally.
Oh, yeah.
He still won 30 for 33 2 years ago.
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago, man. 2 years ago, I was still in high school. So, all right. Frankie, who's your boom? You got a boom?
My boom for this week. I'll start with a bust. I'll stick with the Bengals since that's where. Right. I'll stick with the Bengals and I'll go with Jamar Chase. I mean, obviously, you dropped 3 passes in your second preseason game. That's not something promising. But I will say this: he hasn't played football in 2 years, so there is a learning curve that he's going to have to master. I get it; he's played with Joe Burrow before, but because he hasn't played football in 2 years, he's not in game shape. He's not used to knowing when the ball is coming to him. And I'm not trying to be like a coach or something, but, I think I'm not concerned about Jamar Chase. It's one game. I'm not going to, he bounced back Monday at practice this week. He had a catch in the first preseason game. As far as booms go, I'll go Jacques Patrick, Bengals running back. Here's a guy who is taking advantage of Travion Williams being out with a hamstring injury. The Bengals starting running back is going to be Joe Mixon. But beyond that, even Samaje Perine's not set in stone just yet. He had a fumble in the first preseason game. I think Jacques Patrick could be making a case for a spot on the depth chart once the roster gets down to 53. And so that's why I'm going to go with him. And I'm just sticking with the Bengals here.
FSU alone.
Jacques Patrick. And Jacques Patrick, my boom. Jamar Chase, my bust.
All righty. All right. Anthony, who's your boom?
All right, so I got a couple booms of the week. My first one, Mitchell Trubisky. He had a great game against the Bears. He went 20 of, 30,
20 for 28, I think, was the final
20 for 28.
Yeah.
Only 8 incompletions. He had a great game, stellar game. He knows how to throw the ball. It's unfortunate. Most likely he's going to be QB2, second string quarterback. But it goes to show, even though he had one good game, there's always room for improvement. But I still see he has a strong future with Buffalo if Josh Allen gets hurt. My second boom of the week, Zach Wilson. He had a great game against the Green Bay Packers. Even though it was the Packers secondary and the secondary is all up and down, you never know. But the kid's going to be a great quarterback throughout the year. He's going to shock some people. And then my bust, with my heart saying this, it sucks to say this, the Buccaneers were my bust of the week. It was like, if I was to explain this to you, it was like watching a D1 top tier D1 school beat up on a smaller school D1 team. That's how pitiful it was. It was painful to watch. But
I'm not gonna lie, you just saying that put a smile on my heart. Aaron, you talk bad about the Bucs. That made me feel
that's like the only time you'll hear me talk bad about them.
Yeah, but I'm gonna enjoy this moment.
I want to go back and watch Bruce Arians' press conference because he was not having some good press conferences during training camp.
Oh no. I mean, they had a good week in practice, don't get me wrong. Just none of the starters played. yeah, we're 0-2 in the preseason, but once regular season comes that Thursday night kickoff, they're gonna surprise some people, and they have some tricks up their sleeves. That's all I gotta say.
No doubt about it. They're going to surprise a lot of people. I mean, they're the Bucks.
Yeah, what do you like?
I think once opening kickoff week rolls around, Anthony, they'll be fine. I think they'll beat the Cowboys. I think they'll beat the Falcons
hands
week
down.
2.
Because Dak Prescott's not going to see anything going that way with our amazing defense.
He barely can run.
No.
And barely has a shoulder.
Tampa Bay will be fine. I mean,
yeah, we'll be fine.
Tom Brady, the Buccaneers might lose a game early on in the regular season.
Yeah.
Be losing at the Rams week 3.
That's when I see them losing their first game.
Yeah, but I don't think they're focused on going undefeated.
No.
When they need to start playing well, just like they did last year, which is towards the end of the season, heading into the playoffs, they will.
Yeah. Once you get the bye week, you regroup, get some rest, regroup, and then you'll make that run just like last.
And that's exactly what they did last year.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still happy that they won the Super Bowl last year and they're running back this year.
Fantastic. Okay, so God, Bucks winning again would probably make my soul hurt. All right, so my boom, I got a couple. My
Who was never
big,
gonna win a championship?
the biggest one. I don't know what you just said, but it was probably something condescending. I'm gonna ignore it. My boom of the week. Rodney Adams, 3 receptions, 89 yards, and a touchdown, I believe. Correct, Leon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, if you're averaging 29 point what is it? What does that equal? What is 89 divided by 3? It's 30.
You're smart, Alex.
29.7. If you're averaging 29.7 yards per reception, in preseason, yeah, you're making the roster. Rodney Adams in the beginning being signed by the Bears.
He's underrated.
I agree. I think I was a little iffy on that move, not on Rodney Adams specifically, but I was a little worried he wouldn't make the roster, but he had a heck of a first game against the Dolphins. He had a even better second game against the Bills. I would be surprised if he not only I anticipate he's going to make the 53 as well as see a lot of playing time during the regular season.
What do you see? Wide receiver 2, 3, 1?
I would say, I don't know what the Bears wide receiver charts, but if he keeps playing like he does, I would say he could be a starter before the end of the season.
Besides Allen Robinson.
Aside from Allen Robinson and their wide receiver number 2, Darnell Mooney, Adams could make a push for 3. I believe that. I could see he's going to get a couple hundred yards receiving, maybe a couple touchdowns. So definitely a boom. He's proved himself that he deserves a roster spot. Another boom. I'm going to go back on a bust that I had last week. I'm going to say Mac Jones and the Patriots. He did a lot better.
I'm high on him. I think he's going to be good this year.
He did better than what he did last week. Last week he was 13 for 19 for 89 yards, and I specifically attacked that point alone, but he went 13 for 19 for 149 yards in his 7 games. So an extra 60 yards, same amount of completion, same amount of attempts. He looks more comfortable. He looks better. I think Mac Jones will be starting for the Patriots.
Week 6.
Week 8, I would say.
I said week 7.
He should be starting week 1.
Really? See, there's a difference between when he should start and when he will start.
Well, yes, you're right. I just think, and I've always believed this, if you draft the quarterback in the first round, why wait to start him? Now,
right.
I agree with you, Alex. I think Mac Jones I think he's going to thrive in New England.
Yeah. I mean,
not Tom Brady, but I think he has intangibles that are similar to what Josh McDaniels had when Tom Brady was his quarterback.
Mac Jones, I think, if given the right opportunities, the right line and core, he could bring the Patriots again to be a contender for the title. And what's going
to help them, Alex, is they have a really strong offensive line and a strong running game. So he's not going to have to do as much as rookie season, which is good because their receiving core is not the greatest in terms of personnel.
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, you got Jacoby Myers, the undrafted free agent from last year. That's completely.
They did bring in Jonnu Smith, though.
Yes, I agree.
Don't they
Tony
have a
Smith
good
and
running
Hunter
back?
Henry are going to be good tight end combos, but I mean, other than those three, I mean, assuming that one of those guys go down, you just have the defense to double cover the other two, and Mac Jones is going to be running the ball 30 times the rest of the game. So,
Isn't there
They got Nelson.
oh, that's
their
right. They
running
still have
back
Nelson
goes?
Aguilar. That's right. They got them.
What about Sonny Michel? He's with the Patriots?
Yeah, him and Damian Harris.
Yeah.
They're running backs.
I don't. Sony Michel was okay.
Here's a question for y'all. What do we think of the 49ers quarterback situation?
Trey Lance or Garoppolo?
Yeah.
That's tough.
That is a tough one. Trey Lance went 9 of 13, I think. But he got
better as the game went on.
I'm looking it up.
He threw a pick, but he ended up putting 2 touchdowns on the board. So he bounced back. He had a little over 100 yards.
He also did have that 80-yard throw week 1.
Yeah, but I mean, it was more like a 40-yard throw with another 40 yards of running. So, I mean, you take that how you will. 80-yard reception for a touchdown is still an 80-yard reception for a touchdown.
Trey Lance went 8 of 14, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, while Garoppolo went 3 of 6 with 15 yards. And they have the Raiders this week. And
I know you're gonna be paying attention to that.
Yeah, I am.
I think the stats that Lance had that he put up were, if you take away 2 touchdowns, let's say he was 8-14 for 100 and some on for 1 and 1. That's average. I would call that average.
If you take away the interception.
If you take away the interception, it'll be good. If you take away one of the touchdowns, it would also be average. But he had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 8 of 14. I think those are good stats for a rookie quarterback.
Right.
Yeah. As for that, I still think Kyle Shanahan's going to find some way to put Garoppolo in on week 1, and then just because it's the quarterback that they've had since 2018. But I think
Garoppolo's just got to stay healthy.
It's a situation where if you put in Jimmy Garoppolo, you're not rushing Trey Lance in, and if Jimmy Garoppolo struggles, then you have someone in Trey Lance waiting in the wings.
Exactly.
And Kyle Shanahan did say that Trey Lance is a project.
Well, yeah, he's a project, but he's still putting up numbers that he deserves to start in the regular season. That's the problem.
Trey Lance is in a good situation. He's being coached by one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, one of the most creative head coaches we have in the league, and he's learning under a quarterback who learned under Tom Brady, and he himself led a team to a Super Bowl.
That is true. The 49ers, when healthy, are dangerous, and I think if they can transform Trey Lance into something special.
Their running back room is loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are.
All right, so let's transition over to the bus. We heard the bus from Anthony and Frankie. So Leon, you want to give me your bust of the week?
I got another bust.
All right.
I was with Frankie. I seen Jamar Chase drop a lot of balls. I don't know what's going on with him, but just has to catch him. That's it.
I mean, I agree. Jamar Chase certainly put up a interesting spectacle, to say the least. I think he'll be fine. I think it's just jitters. I mean, Frankie said it. He hasn't played since 2019 when the LSU won the national championship. He took a year off to prepare himself for the draft. He 2020 opted out like most of the other first rounders too. So it could simply just mean like he hasn't had fans in the stands competition like that. So I give it a regular season, he'll be perfectly fine. But for right now, I agree.
I think he will. And you have to remember, in training camp, he's been going up against Chidobe Awuzie in practice, who has been the Bengals' best corner throughout training camp and the preseason. So he's gotten some good competition and just extended playing time. I mean, look, players have bad games all the time. It just gets magnified when you're the number 5 overall pick and you're being paired with Joe Burrow, who you play with in college. And Joe Burrow's already like a god here in Cincinnati. And Jamar Chase comes in. We all know what he did with Joe Burrow at LSU. And fans are going to be frustrated because they've been frustrated for the last 30 years.
Reach.
What about to my 2 people that were going about Justin Fields?
Hold for a second. Leon, did you got another one, or is that, it
was just Kevin White.
Okay.
That's it.
Kevin White. Remember when the Bears drafted him in 2015?
Yeah.
Ouch.
All right, Anthony. What did he end up doing?
To my 2 people that are going about Justin Fields, what do you think of his performance from this past week?
He's a rookie. Lay off the poor kid.
Yeah, but he almost died. He
The
almost
Bills
died.
are one of the best. That's because the Bears' offensive line stinks.
Yeah, they sting. They're all hurt.
Tevin Jenkins may not even play this year because he's
Back surgery.
surgery now.
Mm-hmm. He's not going to play this year. He's done.
Okay. And there's already question marks along that offensive line to begin with.
Yeah, but he went 9 of 19.
Yeah, but how many of those 10 incompletions would he have to scramble and throw the ball out? That I cannot answer, but I want to
Well,
know
you're
that.
also playing the Bills,
Who have a
Excuse
pretty solid defense overall.
Yeah.
Let alone, I mean, of their defensive line is what I would call to be the weakest part of that defense, and I still even think it's pretty strong. So
Yeah, they get much trouble too.
You forget how good the Bills' defense is because of how good Josh Allen and that offense is.
the offense overshadows the defense, and everybody ignores just how good the defense really is. The Bears are a huge contender, and people always like to just kind of throw them in the corner, whether they like it or not.
If they made that field goal
Which field goal? Oh.
in the playoffs,
Oh, and you're saying the
God.
fortunes would be different now than
if they made that field goal, they would have gone to the Super Bowl, right?
That's a gut punch right there.
well,
That's
they would have gone to play. No, Anthony's not that far. That's not far fetched. They would have played the Rams in the divisional round.
Oh yeah, the Rams.
I think they could have beaten the Rams, which they did in the regular season that year on Sunday Night Football late in the season, and then they would have gone to New Orleans or Dallas for the NFC Championship. You never know.
Okay.
Are we gonna end it with that last debate, the quarterback debate?
I guess Anthony. What's
we
your
still have
second
6
one?
minutes. We still have 6.5 minutes.
Yeah. What's your second one?
My second one, what?
You said you had a second bust.
Oh, it was Justin Fields.
Oh, was the first one just the Bucks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll make my busts easy. I have one for sure that I can think of right now. That one is the entire Green Bay Packers second and third stringers, completely both on offense and defense. I have never seen such an abysmal second and third string line ever. And I watched the Atlanta game, for God's sake. So that's and also the New England putting 35 on the Eagles when they put 0. So another bust is the entire Eagles team entirely. But for Green Bay, let's just put this into perspective. So typically the starters and a good portion of the second stringers play in the first half, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Green Bay in the second half of both their preseason game, do you know how many points combined they've put up?
How many?
0. Not a single point in the entire second half of either game. So they played the Jets. They were beating the Jets going into the second half. They were beating them. And then they just lost the lead completely, and they lost, 23-14? Something like that. So, I mean, Green Bay, solid defense, starting defense. But when it comes to second and third stringers, my God, you might want to look at a peewee team for backups and try to get their free agents. But that was just abysmal. Just watching.
You mean a JV football team?
JV would even be better. God, I'm sorry, man. Like it hurt to watch. Let's see, who was the other bust that I had in my mind? Seattle.
Only putting up 3.
Yeah, well, their defense has always been an issue ever since they lost the Legion of Boom. Ever since that whole thing fell apart, they haven't had any good replacements at defense.
Jamal Adams, they just signed him to a massive extension.
I don't think that was the right move. They should have invested that into smaller, average guys to at least build that defense up. I mean, you can have 2 or 3 really good pieces, but if you have 8 other pieces that are weak, it's a horrible defense.
It wasn't that long ago when you could name every starter on their defense. They were that good.
Right.
Yeah, that was arguably one of the best defenses to ever be formed in the league. That 2015, 2014 defense.
Remember that Super Bowl when they should have ran the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Tom Brady's won 4 Super Bowls since that call.
Unbelievable.
He's gonna play for 10. He's gonna get 10.
He might.
2 more with Tampa. I'm calling it. Or 3.
This year, Tom Brady can become the first quarterback in NFL history to win back-to-back Super Bowls with 2 different teams.
And he has the potential to beat New England, all 32 NFL teams.
No, there's no potential. They will beat New England that Week 4 game.
They will beat New England.
I think they will.
Yeah, there's no debate.
That's going to be a bloodbath.
I wouldn't say bloodbath, but it's going to be a win since it's
going to be emotional.
I think Tampa Bay is going to win that game, and I'll say that they'll put up at least 30.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, they'll put up at least 30, but I think
I say 40.
the difference of the points, I would say, is at least 3 touchdowns, 3 scoring drives is going to be the difference.
So hypothetically, you're gonna say like 37-20 as a final score. Hypothetically,
Yes.
I would say that's actually pretty. I would say that if I had to put a guess on that game, I would say that would be the final score. It'd
Yeah.
be something.
17, yeah.
It'll be.
I think we'll
hard to
put
watch.
40.
Who's this we?
The Bucks.
Oh, you play on the team now?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you do work for them, so
he's on the payroll.
I work
now,
with Raymond James.
He is the Tampa Bay Bucks. So, all right. So, final thing, and we got a couple minutes left. We kind of discussed this a little off camera before we started. We got a little heated onto that. It's the Saints quarterback controversy issue.
He had one good game.
Yeah. Okay, Anthony, let me finish first. Okay, let's hold on for a second. Jameis Winston versus Taysom Hill. I mean, we have half the Zoom, half of this channel is saying Taysom Hill, while Leon and I are saying Jameis Winston because and now Leon, please inform these two why we think Jameis Winston is still going to be QB1.
And as you can see last night, Taysom Hill was very bothered with standing in the pocket. He could not do it. He stood in the pocket too long. He held the ball for at least 6 seconds sometimes. Saints line, they're very good. Jameis, he's going to get the ball out. He's a QB. He's a pro-style QB. He learned from Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, but
Bucks, it was a new style with Arians. Like the pro style is what fits him.
But when Jameis got drafted by the Bucks, you're forgetting it was the Dirk Cutter era. Dirk Cutter, and then Jameis for like 2 seasons in Tampa or 1 season with Bruce Arians. Jameis also did throw 103 picks in 63 games, 30 for 30. So, his first play of his career, pick 6. He makes poor decisions.
Yeah, he did. I saw that game. It was pretty funny. It was against Tennessee too.
Poor decisions with the football.
Okay, here I'm gonna say this right now.
He has surgery now. He's a different.
Man, he's got LASIK,
and it's 1 game. It's 1 game.
Okay, but here let me just say this, and then we'll end this. All right. Let me just say this, Anthony. You proved our point when you said that Jameis Winston did that under Dirk Cotter and Bruce Arians. I don't care because I'm not a Bucks fan. And all due respect,
I'm correcting you how to pronounce names.
I'm going to call him Dirk, whatever I call him. So, but anyway, you're completely correct. He played under 2 different head coaches, and now goes to Sean Payton. Remember, there have been countless players that have had their entire game changed because of a head coaching switch. All right, so I'm just saying, Jameis has a shot here. But anyway, we're going to wrap this up real fast. Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know who you think is going to win between Jameis and Winston. Leave a comment, leave a like, and we'll be back with Week 3 real soon. Thank you so much.